Ever since the first atom was split, we've been fascinated by the unseen world of particles. To see it, we've built some of the largest, most expensive machines on Earth. Giant particle accelerators. Like the Large Hadron Collider, stretch for miles underground, costing billions to build and operate. They are the cathedrals of modern science, where we smash atoms to unlock the secrets of the universe. But what if I told you that the future of this incredible technology isn't about getting bigger, but smaller? What if we could shrink a machine the size of a football stadium down to something that fits on a tabletop, or even on a microchip? This isn't science fiction. It's the frontier of physics, and it's happening right now. My colleagues and I have been working on a concept that could completely change the game. Imagine a particle accelerator, not miles long, but smaller than the width of a human hair. An accelerator capable of producing intense, high-energy X-rays, just like the massive synchrotron facilities we have today. So why do we need these X-rays in the first place? Synchrotrons are like super-powered microscopes. They produce incredibly bright beams of light that let us see things in stunning detail. Scientists use them to study the atomic structure of new materials, design life-saving drugs by looking at tiny protein molecules, and even examine biological tissues with incredible precision. The problem is, there are only a handful of these facilities in the world. Getting time on one is incredibly competitive. Researchers often have to wait months for just a few hours of access. It's a huge bottleneck for scientific progress. Our new research, which has just been accepted for publication, proposes a radical solution. We designed a way to generate these powerful X-rays using a combination of laser light and something called carbon nanotubes. Let's break down how this microscopic marvel works. It all starts with a special kind of light. Most people think of light as a straight beam, but light can also have structure. We use something called a circularly polarized laser. You can picture this laser pulse as a tiny twisting corkscrew of light. Now, where do we shine this twisting light? This is where the magic happens. We guide it into a forest of incredibly tiny, hollow tubes made of carbon atoms. These are carbon nanotubes. Each one is a perfectly formed cylinder, and they are phenomenally strong. They can withstand electric fields hundreds of times more powerful than what traditional accelerators can handle. When we send our corkscrew of laser light into one of these nanotubes, it creates a powerful wave that clings to the inside surface of the tube. This wave, known as a surface plasmon polariton, acts like a trap. It grabs onto electrons inside the tube and starts to accelerate them, forcing them into a tight spiral path that mirrors the twisting light. It's like the nanotube is the lock, and our swirling laser is the key. We call this a quantum lock and-key mechanism. As these electrons spiral at nearly the speed of light, they release a burst of energy in the form of high-energy X-rays. And because all the electrons are moving together in perfect sync, they amplify each other's radiation. This process, called coherent emission, makes the resulting X-ray beam incredibly intense and brilliant. We've effectively created a microscopic synchrotron. The same fundamental physics that powers those city-sized facilities is now playing out on a nanoscopic stage. Our simulations show this setup can generate electric fields of several teravolts per meter. That's an almost unimaginable force, far beyond what any current accelerator technology can achieve. So what does this mean for you and me? The potential is transformative. Think about medicine. A tabletop X-ray source could lead to much clearer, more detailed mammograms, helping to detect cancer earlier and more accurately. It could enable new imaging techniques that let doctors see soft tissues like never before, all without needing contrast agents. In the world of drug discovery, pharmaceutical companies could analyze protein structures right in their own labs. This would dramatically speed up the design of new therapies for diseases that affect millions. Imagine slashing the time it takes to develop a new drug from years to months. And it doesn't stop there. Materials scientists and engineers could use these compact X-ray sources for high speed. non-destructive testing of delicate components like the microchips in our phones and computers. It would open up a new era of quality control and innovation. The biggest impact, however, might be on science itself. By making these powerful tools widely available, we could democratize access to cutting-edge research. Hospitals, universities, and industrial labs around the world could have their own synchrotron-level capabilities. No more waiting in line for beam time. No more barriers to discovery. It would put frontier science into the hands of a much larger, more diverse community of researchers. Of course, we need to be clear. Right now, this is all based on complex 3D simulations. We've proven the concept in the digital world. The next giant leap is to build it and test it in the real world. The exciting part is that all the necessary components already exist. Powerful, circularly polarized lasers are standard tools in many labs, and the technology to manufacture precise carbon nanotube structures is well established. We've presented our findings to the scientific community. The work to turn these simulations into a physical prototype is the next critical step. If we're successful, it would mark the beginning of a new generation of ultra-compact radiation sources. The future of particle physics probably won't be just about building bigger and bigger machines to push the boundaries of discovery. It will also be about building smaller, smarter, and more accessible accelerators that can solve real-world problems. This technology isn't about replacing giants like the Large Hadron Collider. It's about complementing them. We'll still need the big machines to explore the highest energy frontiers. But for a vast range of scientific and medical applications, the future is small. Incredibly small. It's a future where groundbreaking research tools are no longer confined to a few elite institutions, but are available to anyone with a brilliant idea. A future where a hospital in a remote area could have the same diagnostic power as a leading medical center. This is the vision that drives us. It's not just about the incredible physics. It's about what that physics can do for humanity. Thank you so much for watching. If you're as excited about the future of science as I am, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.